Time to get the fuck out. Stories. According to Reddit. Number 11. I was at a house party in high school, and things were getting very rowdy. Tons of people just trashing the place, and I just get this bad feeling. I told my friends we should leave, but none of them would listen. I remember going out to my car, and as soon as I got in, the cops pull up. I ducked down and waited for them to get up to the front door, and drove off without them even noticing. Several of my friends spent the night in jail or hiding in the woods that night, while I slept comfortably in my bed. I also had a wank. Just had to throw that touch in there. Hope it enhanced the story for you guys. You're welcome. Number 10. I was about 11 or 12 years old at a neighbor's house. The sun had already set. It wasn't completely dark yet, but it was close, and there was less light by the second. We were sitting on the lawn because we loved watching the sky turn from day to night, just talking, giggling, carrying on as little girls do. A truck drove up our street, slower than usual, but not suspiciously slow. Still, I felt my guts sink for some reason that I didn't understand. A couple of minutes later, it passed by again. And then again after another few minutes, though not quite as slow this time. I was 100% positive that this was the same truck. What the hell? So I watch it drive away and notice that it started slowing down. I tell my friend to get up, and when the truck made another U-turn and started heading towards us again, I told her to run and hide. I don't know if she realized what she was hiding from, but we ended up splitting into two directions. She dove behind a bush, and I crouched behind an old car parked in the driveway. We could see each other, and I had a clear shot to the door if I needed to get in to get a parent. But we heard the truck roll up and stop in front of the house. Someone got out of the truck, started calling for us, and I honestly just don't remember what they were asking, though we just kept our eyes locked and tried to stay as quiet as possible. We probably should have screamed, but I think we were both too scared. The person eventually got into their car and took off. We stayed hidden for what felt like forever, eyes locked until we finally felt safe enough to run inside. I don't know what would have happened if I didn't notice something and we decided to hide, or if that person was actually dangerous or not, but I'm glad that I'll never find out. Some people wild out here casing little kids sitting in front of their house about to kidnap them for real, right off their doorstep. Y'all wild, baby. I guess it must happen all the time though. Because once they get them and they're gone, they haven't, the people aren't going to be able to jump in their car and figure out, where they went. By the time they get their keys, by the time they get in their car, by the time they're driving. Oh boy. More and more police every day are involved in abducting, people, are exposed for their involvement in abducting people. Abducting. Hello to everybody in the stream. Danny, Otaku, Linda, Pandaren, Honeycomb, Bell, Rachel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Oh my God. Is everything making sense for you? Are you happy? Are you getting the nudes that you're looking for? Or are you getting the weed that you're looking for? Are you eating? Or are you working out the way that you should be if you're like, I don't know. I don't want to say stuck, but damn. Is the stream's health working out for you guys? Because I'm getting some weird readings on my end. Not even sure what to say. YouTube is ever so strange. But I guess I can't know for sure. Here we go. Number 9. Not me, but my mother. She was on a business trip taking a taxi from the airport, and she noticed that the driver wasn't taking the route usually taken, as she had done this multiple times before. She asked him first out of curiosity, perhaps there was a road closure or something. The guy simply mumbled something and then mostly ignored her. Then, it got more apparent that they were not heading towards the hotel and instead away from the center of the city. She got more and more aggressive and eventually demanded that he stopped, as he kept ignoring and mumbling. Finally, she got loud enough and threatening enough that he did pull over and she just got out. She had a cell phone, but smartphones weren't a thing yet. She was able to call a taxi and get someone to pick her up, and sure enough, they were headed nowhere near the hotel. Now, maybe this guy was hoping he could take an ignorant tourist on a joyride and then rack up like a high fare or something, but it sure has the feeling of something far more malicious in the making. Holy bing bong, boy. Pretty scary stuff. Especially when you're a woman and somebody's just taking you somewhere that's not your destination. When you hired their ass as a freaking cab driver, some of these dudes are crazy, man. I don't know if most of you may not be old enough or watch frequently enough to remember, but I remember just losing my shit watching this one video of like a chick that was riding in the front seat of the car, and the dude just kept touching her like over and over and over and over and over. And it could have been staged, I admit, but you know, fact is stranger than fiction. You know that, you know, for every staged thing that we see, that thing is actually happening somewhere. Has been happening, will be happening. And it's terrifying because some of these sleazy, gross motherfuckers like don't know these people, and y'all out here just touching on them and putting your hand on their leg, and the bitch is shrieking at you like, stop fucking touching me, and you're just like, no, I will do what I want to do. You're mine, and if you wish to live, you will shut your mouth. Is that offensive? Not if you don't know where it's from. I don't even know where it's from. Can't be offensive if I don't know what the hell's going on. That is music from whatever culture that is, where, you know, there's a bunch of men abducting women, touching them without consent in the cars. Effed up, bro. Number 8. Not me, but it was at the Goose Fair in Nottingham in the early 2000s. I was there taking pictures for my art course, and my boyfriend at the time fancied himself a bit of a hard man. What does it mean? He liked to make out that he was trained or whatever. Well, like military trained? This just gets weirder and weirder. Ladies, y'all choose dudes like this, you know? Out here role playing. See, I'm a badass man that's just dripping with, I wouldn't call it testosterone, but maybe just enough coursing through my veins to not feel the need to prove to anybody anything. You know what I mean? Everybody out there here these days got a lot to prove, and they taking pictures and they sharing this and doing that, and look at my gun and let me flex this money. It's wild, you know what I mean? But I have absolutely no inclination to impress upon strangers, you know, that I'm bad man, you know. I'm not trying to convince dudes. It's wild, you know. And the people who are, I think y'all got some problems. I think maybe you're the type that needs a therapist, you know. This dude liked to go on like he was trained, and after about 20 minutes, he was made to leave. That's not embarrassing? Is this your man? How bad is it that somebody's like, all right, sir, I'm going to need you to wrap it up and get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? Oh, God. My boyfriend says, Shit was about to go down. Huge eye roll, whatever, dude. Okay, we'll leave, right? I seen in the news the next day that a 14-year-old girl was shot dead there not long after. Am I comprehending what I'm reading properly? Because you're talking about your boyfriend for half of this fucking entry. And then it's just like, you guys have to leave a place and then something went down? You know? Was it a feeling of your boyfriend's that made that made him feel crazy? No, dude. He wasn't made to leave. You know what I mean? He made the girlfriend leave. I'm guessing the boyfriend got the feeling that tonight's gonna be a bad night. That tonight's gonna be a bad night. That tonight's going to be a bad night. I'd shoot 14-year-olds. Sorry. That's what happened in the story. I don't delight in this. This could also be fiction. You know, we read these stories, like I say, because real things do happen, and they're pretty much identical to some of the things that we read. But that doesn't mean that everything that we read definitely happened. Some of these people out here are thirsty for that karma. You see this dumb little number that doesn't mean anything at the end of the day? And when you die, they're not going to chisel, your karma on Reddit into your tombstone. And nobody's going to visit you and be all like, oh man, let me take a picture of this. Did you see how much karma this dude had? Sorry, number 7. I was riding my bike during a huge storm. I was 10 years old. There was this huge, recently built brick concrete wall right beside the sidewalk that I was using as a racetrack. Bitch. I was having a good time, and suddenly I felt this get the fuck out of here feeling, which I did. The next morning, as I passed by the place I was previously playing in, the entire wall had collapsed. That guy could have been under that wall. I felt jealous. I wish I could have gone back in time and kept playing there. Is it too much? Did I make like the kid too gangster, too gnarly? Kid doesn't want to exist. Wowee. Too much, man, too much. Never mind. Number 6. A friend that I had just seen a midnight movie. A friend that I had? No, a friend and I had just seen a midnight movie. Blizzard France is going on strike tomorrow. But what does that have to do with me? Sorry. It was about 2:30 in the morning when I pulled into a gas station to grab a Yoo-Hoo. And for those who don't know, a Yoo-Hoo is a brand of chocolate milk. Yoo-Hoo. You need Yoo-Hoo so bad you going to a gas station? Damn, baby, you ain't got some at home that you could just figure out? You like Yoo-Hoo enough to go be grabbing it from gas stations. Take your ass to a grocery store. Or better yet, order from a grocery store and watch them deliver it to your ass. Just like a big ass thing of Yoo-Hoo. Sometimes the urge strikes, and maybe you don't need too much of it around, otherwise you might be tempted, I understand. But, I don't know, man. I feel like stopping at a gas station exclusively for a Yoo-Hoo is like horror movie scene tier. That's kind of like a throwaway scene that you put in a horror movie to establish something that will pay off later in the movie. Some dude is behind you at the gas station and he's acting kind of weird, or maybe the clerk is really disturbed by you being there and it seems irrelevant at the time, but then later it ties in, my dude. But you're living your real life stopping at a gas station to get some chocolate milk, branded chocolate milk. More power to you. Kyle does not mean to imply that Yoo-Hoo isn't dope. I'm sure it made a name for itself, and it's not just a miracle of marketing. It's probably pretty good or something, right? I don't know. So I grab a bottle, turn around, and see 3 men enter the store together. Yeah, man, horror movie. One waited by the door. One stood near the register looking at chips, and the third was crouched down with his back to the employee's door so the cashier wouldn't see him through the square window in the door. Did I mention they were black? I'm kidding. I'm black. It's not cool. That would just really ratchet up the fear factor if this was a white guy and then like all the dudes came in and he's all like, they're different for me. This isn't what I wanted. Not in my America. They all look at me. They try to ignore me, acting like they're just casually positioning around the cashier and the door. This is when you walk the fuck out, my dude. Drop the yoo-hoo, come to you senses, and who your ass clean out the store. This is when when people walk into an establishment and one person stands by the door, try your best to lackadaisically, as if you don't even know. I would be making my way out the door, probably looking at my phone. You know what I'm doing by looking at my phone? I'm saying, bitch, I don't even see your face. It ain't nothing to worry about. I don't see a damn thing going on here. So I'll see you later. Shit ain't got nothing to do with me. It's terrible. Maybe I'm not a hero for that. But little did you know, when I get outside, I'm going to call the police and hope that they can make it there in time. I'll tell the police that there are young girls there with really big titties and need to be saved, and they'll be here so fast it would make your head spin. That's all the police are about. I'm kidding. Now, they all look at me once they try to ignore me, and they're just acting weird. So I walk up, put my yoo-hoo on the counter. The cashier turns to the scanner and basically tells me, "You do it." What? So I ring myself up, drop the money on the counter, and walk as normally as I can past the man at the door and out to my car at what seemed like the furthest pump from the store. You the one parked there, homie. I really just saved the stream from a gross Kyle noise. You didn't get me this night. You didn't get me this night. I sit down, throw my yoo-hoo at my buddy. Oh man, is that what we're calling it now? You're throwing it back, huh? Oh damn. I hit the emergency button in my car that calls 911. I connect with dispatch and report a possible robbery. A mile or two later, I see a cop car flying down the street in the direction that we just came from. I called non-emergency the next day to ask what happened, and they said the men fled after I left, and the cashier told the police that he knew he was about to get robbed and to thank me for calling the police. That felt good. What didn't feel good was my buddy. He had the yoo-hoo and had diarrhea. Sorry, this is me enhancing it. Never mind. Forget that part. In all his nervousness about what was unfolding, as he was listening to me recount everything to dispatch, he thought I just gave him a random yoo-hoo and chugged the whole thing down like a starving infant with a bottle. Oh, the yoo-hoo wasn't for him. These things read like writing exercises from like a wannabe amusing, writer. That's why you can't really take too much stake in Reddit these days. People out here just fishing for karma. The yoo-hoo is irrelevant, but he ties it in at the end. Oh, that's just such a funny anecdote. You wanted your yoo-hoo, but your friend drank it. About to make some yoo-hoo in your damn pants, my dude. You'll be wishing for the days when your waist was solid. I can say stuff like this in my stream. Because you guys are just too busy. What? You guys are too busy sending people text messages that aren't me? Too busy playing your video games? I know you're not doing anything for school. I know you're procrastinating. What are you doing in the background right now? You know what I mean? That's more important than telling me how girthy, delicious, wonderful, and just showing off, your favorite bath time adventures. Do you guys have rubber duckies? Do you guys have other aquatic little buddies that you plop in the bath when you go? I don't know. We don't talk. We're not close. And I guess that's the way that it needs to stay. Do I really still have a bookmark that says egg sandwiches? Low quality bait or classic insanity? You decide. And welcome to the Kyle channel as we continue through this list of time to get the fuck out stories. Number 5. I mean, it's all speculation since we didn't actually get kidnapped. But when I was 19 years old and traveling solo in Europe, I met this Australian girl in Spain who was also around 18 years old. We went to Italy together. We're both short, petite girls and very, very busty. But we needed a place to stay. We missed our ferry out of Barcelona, so we had to take the next one. When we arrived in Italy, our train was hours late. We didn't get into Rome until around 1 to 2 a.m. We navigated the sketchy streets of Termini train station, or by the Termini train station, and finally found our hostel. The check-in lobby was in a small, dingy room that appeared to be a closet. The man working reception looked us up and down and told us there was no room for us anywhere in the inn. But where will baby Jesus be born? He suggested that we stay in their sister hostel. Uh-oh. Desperate, we agreed. He took us downstairs back to the alleyway, where we were greeted by a large man in dirty clothing. They spoke to each other in a language other than English and Italian and led us outside. We walked down a couple of alleyways until we got to an unmarked door on the side of the building. One of the men made a phone call, again speaking in a different language, and we found it odd since everyone could speak English, but they chose to speak in a language that we didn't understand. Let me say it to you like this, guys. You know what I mean? The ugliest girls. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting too real because I'm starting the sentence with, quote, the ugliest girls. But the ugliest girls are still hot candidates for abduction and potential slavery. You feel me? You know what I mean? It ain't even about how pretty or they may or may not be. It's the fact that they're foreign. If you're taking your stupid ass overseas, it don't matter what race you are, but if you're white too, oh my God, come the fuck on, my dude. I don't care if you're freaking kids or you're students or whatever. If you want to travel somewhere, establish your accommodations beforehand. Don't make it so that you're showing up somewhere and there's a potential for there not to have a place for you to stay, my dude. And to be honest, let the accommodations be the most expensive thing that you sort out, you know? Because it'll be worth it to know that where you lay your stupid head at night, you are safe. You are outrageously vulnerable when you are sleeping. And somebody can roll up on you and quickly bind and gag you, and that's the rest of your life. That's the end of your life right there. Whether you're killed right there or not, it's just like wild, you know? And to me, you know, some people, they spend like a couple $1,000s on a phone, and then they won't buy a case for it, you know? And it's not even about the disposable income. I know some of y'all niggas rich and it's as simple as that. But to me, it's about the senselessness associated with such a huge investment, but you're not willing to spend a little bit more money just to make sure that there's a bit of safety in that. Do you know what I mean? You travel in the world, but you ain't sorting out a place to stay regardless of how late you end up being, my dude. Y'all gonna stay at a hostel, ain't no room at the hostel, go outside to the sister hostel. Y'all talking to dirty men in the middle of the street. Shit. You know what I mean? If it was me and I'm a hoe, I'm a female, you know, that can potentially be overpowered, you know what I'm looking for? Drugs. The Kyle channel does not condone taking drugs, but I take my chances being wired enough to stay up for mad hours instead of sleeping somewhere with people that I don't trust. Because I don't know them. I'm not an idiot, but a lot of these people, dude, they gamble with their life. And reading stuff like this, it's like, how am I supposed to be able to roll my eyes and read this? A man cracked the door open just enough to poke his head outside, and upon seeing the other men fully open the door and let us in, we walked down the stairs into this sunken room, which was lit by black lights. You remember all of this, don't you? At this point, it was me, my friend, and 3 large men. The reception was a dirty room containing a couch with some dirty sheets laid over it. They told us the room's in the basement. Okay. All right. Okay. The room's in the basement, girls, if you'll just put on these handcuffs and follow me. They told us that the room was in the basement and to follow them. We walked down a set of stairs, one man in front followed by my friend, followed by another man behind her, followed by myself and the last man behind me. We went down the flight of stairs to find that there was yet another flight of stairs going down to a closed door. At this point I lost it, and my friend and I pushed past the men and scrambled backwards. The men kept shouting at us that the rooms were downstairs, but the scenario seemed way too wild. I'm surprised it even clicked for you assholes then, you know? We eventually found an Australian couple on the street who brought us to their expensive hotel where we booked a room. Oh, so y'all actually had the money to book a room somewhere, but you were still trying to fucking dirt it. You fucking idiots. And it's probably not even on their dime, you know what I mean? They're dumb young bitches. They probably got a card from mommy and daddy that they can just throw money on, that mommy and daddy will pay to make sure that they're fucking safe. You know what I mean? And you know mommy and daddy, they probably gonna give you shit. Unless something bad does go wrong, you know, they're still gonna give you shit. But it's better than the alternative. They'll get over it. They will get over it. The next day we searched the internet for the sister hostel that they brought us to. We found the hostel online, but it was very clear that this wasn't where they brought us. The hostel boasted beautiful views of the city and was immaculate. It was clearly a few levels above ground. We were definitely in some weird backlit dirty basement. We thought for sure that we were about to get kidnapped and sold into the sex trade that night. You know? Imagine being privy and aware of this kind of thing and then still being a dumb bitch, you know? This is why I don't have respect for a lot of people, because you can sit your corny ass in fucking school for years and years and years and years and years of your life, but they'll never teach you to think. They'll never teach you to think. Jump through them hoops, get that piece of paper, cram for this test with the information that you'll never apply in real life because it's not practical. You know, hit us with that diploma, show us how hard you can't get a fucking job, and then be an idiot. Be an idiot. Go show us that you don't know how the world works in such a frightening capacity that honestly, you might as well be a character in a movie that exists exclusively to be killed. And it's a boring death too. Wouldn't even make a contemporary movie. Wouldn't make a movie that most people would want to watch. Wild. Is that rude? It's rude. But so are these people. Boring me with their foolish decisions. Number 4 is deleted, except it's not. Walking through the local woods in Ireland during winter, so it was dark and very cold. I see a guy in a t-shirt and shorts. He's sitting alone in this little stone hut thing. I think it may be used for changing after swimming in the pool. Something about it really freaks me out, so I turn around and I start running back to my car. I ask for a Garda, I don't know what that is, to go out and to do a check to see if he's okay, but the man had moved somewhere into the woods. I hear a week later that a woman looking for her dog had been raped the same night. Somebody asked a question and the dude deleted his entry. Uh-oh. Redditor may have put more of himself out there than he meant to. I don't even know what to say here. Somebody responded and somebody deleted their post. Number 3. I made a somewhat late night trip to a convenience store. Gotta get that yoo-hoo. I knew it carried wine, and that's why I was going. I used to work really odd hours, and sometimes late at night I'd finish my work and want to have a few drinks. Box wine. As I was getting back into my truck, this young girl asks if I could give her a ride a few blocks back to her home. She's a demon. Surely you've watched enough episodes of Supernatural to know that, okay? Hey guys, I want to write a story. No, I can't give you my idea. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good story. It's got to do with titties, but you'll never know how I incorporate it into the story. You'll never understand. It was probably a bad idea to judge a book by its cover, but she was pretty young and dressed decently, didn't act too weird or anything, so I figured, whatever. Well, I'm heading back and we get into a pretty rough part of town, and she says, turn left up here. Very dark street, whatever. I stop and she says she really appreciated the ride and wanted to do something for me, asked if she could give me a blowjob. I decline and start getting sketched out. Like, no, you need to get the hell out of the car right now. She gets out, closes the door, and as I drive away, two men dressed in dark clothing were just stepping towards the street and stared at me as I drove past. Oh yeah, she was trying to make you nice and vulnerable for them to, for they was gonna fucking rob your ass, break yourself, fool. This is our car now. You weren't even gonna get that slippy slurmy into her mouth hole, okay? She couldn't just give a blowjob. It needed to be a titty job too, and she probably didn't have what was necessary. She wasn't equipped. You know what I mean? I'll be like, she was like, hey, can I give you a blowjob for my troubles? I'll be like, all right, but I need to hold this loaded gun to your head. It's the only way I can get off. The Kyle channel does not condone, holding loaded guns to girls' heads while they're giving blowjobs because it's part of your kink. But, in a scenario where you feel threatened, which is many scenarios for a lot of people these days, I feel threatened, back up. I will not wear a mask. Sorry. She gets out and closes the door, and as I drive away, two men dressed in dark clothing. Oh my God. Oh, so spooky. They were stepping towards the street and stared at me as I drove away. Pretty sure that it would have ended with a gun in my face. That's what you get for trying to be nice. How about that? How about that? Hey, can you just drop them pants and not even focus right now? That's what's going on. Please, please. Number 2, I was getting a beer with a friend and he brought along his friend. He ruined it. I'm trying to date him. Sorry. When I left, I felt very drunk despite only having 2 drinks. Oh, you've been roofied, mate. They wanted me to come to their hotel as they were getting ready to go to a concert. Oh, dude, wait a minute. They wanted me to come to their hotel, and as they were getting ready to go to the concert that night, but I made an excuse that I needed to go home because I think I left my oven on. My beer was 100% tampered with. My vision felt like I was in a tunnel. I got home in an Uber and immediately threw up and continued to do so for the rest of the night. Now, you don't even tell us if you're a man or not. You know what I mean? Because if you are, then this is even worse. Oh man, they never tell us their gender. Because if it's a girl, it's really messed up. But if you're a man, oh my God, this dude and his friend were going to take you on? Holy shit, that's gross. It's gross, man. It's gross. A response to this reads, this happened to me too. I, a dude, thank you for clarifying, my dude, used to go to a local gay bar, but I was underage. Oh boy, what a target. You got that target on your head. You got that target on your head. Oh my God. The bartender and bouncers let me in as long as I didn't try to buy any alcohol. Strange. I ordered a Sprite one night and saw a shady dude pull his hand away quickly when I had my back turned. Y'all really writing the book on stupid behavior at a goddamn bar, huh? Just not looking at your drink and shit like that. I mean, some of y'all need to get a little fucked up before you even go out there. How about that? I'm not so cheap that I'm not, down with the bar, but maybe I'm cheap enough that I'm going to want to order something that is unopened. How about that? Maybe if you're going to the bar alone, you're sad. How about that? Fuck you. But you should be going to the bar as a social thing with a bunch of other people, and y'all can all throw in for a bottle to share between y'all. And also have a buddy system where people, are looking around, where I know some of y'all just trying to get laid. But if you're trying to get laid so hard, why does it even need to get a blackout drunk, situation? Just, point at somebody and then go to the bathroom. Whatever, or get out of there. Jeez. Car. So many scenarios. It's because everybody's all anxious and weird and socially inexperienced. God damn it. I order a Sprite and this dude pulls his hand away. I have a sketchy feeling and I took a small sip and decided not to risk drinking the rest. So I left it at the bar. About 30 minutes later, I felt like I was underwater. You took a sip and that was enough. I could barely keep my head up. Someone close to my age noticed and walked me home. About an hour walk, propping me up, he sat with I'm sorry, I'm reading ahead of myself. And when I see things like this, it just breaks my brain. He sat with me on my front steps and rubbed my back. Platonically. It's all above board. It's all fine. There was nothing extra about the way that he was rubbing my back, Totally cool, It's the way that I would rub a big titties girl's back, Big titties girl. Yeah, feeling nice and foreign today. So for 2 hours until daylight, dude made sure that I was okay. His name was Billy, and I never got to see the guy who saved me ever again. Something very bad could have happened if it weren't for Billy. I think about him still. Damn. Isn't Belle a pretty white girl? How many times have you almost been drugged, Belle? Tell me. Tiffany says, bro, why would you even take a sip if you suspect it's been tampered with? Gotta make sure. You're driving down the highway and you're thinking to yourself, is that a cop car up there? Gotta speed. You gotta speed to figure it out. You gotta push it to the limit to find out. Too fast, too furious. You fucking around at somebody's crib and you know they hate you. And they offer you some food and you're thinking to yourself, is this food poison? Gotta taste it. Taste it to find out. Shit. How you gonna know? How can you know otherwise? Number 1 on this list, we are done. Oh my God. List of time to get the fuck out stories. What just seemed like a bad storm had started my ex. Wait, why don't you read that like the punctuation matters? Give me one more second. What had just seemed like a bad storm had started, and my ex at the time decided to play with the dog out in the backyard. It was raining at the time. I get this weird feeling about how strong the winds are, despite being called crazy. I told my ex and the dog, you listen, dog, that he needed to go down into the basement and shelter with me. Within 15 minutes, half of my roof was gone. Apparently the storm was a derecho, which I'd never heard of before that. There are storms called derecho. I bet Jesus knows all about them. Derecho. Derecho. Yeah, like a real gringo. Say it like that. Derecho. A line of intense, widespread, and fast-moving windstorms. Sometimes thunderstorms that move across a great distance and is characterized by damaging winds. So you mean it's kind of like a hurricane that is like so abrupt and like intense that it might as well be like, God himself is hitting you with some of that Sims catastrophe clicks, God's just like, it'd be dope, a hurricane. But I ain't trying to do the whole hurricane and everybody and the wind and the rain and shit. I need it right there, centralized right there, from this quadrant to that quadrant. Oh my God, that whole roof is fucked up, stupid bitch. That'll learn you, okay? You should have been working on the cooking skill like I wanted you to. It's just, you're too wild. These Sims aren't doing what I want them to do. This was supposed to be entertaining. But look at the planet now. One of you idiots gets crazy and now the whole world's got a plague. And you think you guys would act right after that? Instead, you're just making it worse. A leader of the world, a president, a figure is out here going, masks are dumb. Oh my God, I got sick. Who could have seen this coming? If only there were measures, preventative measures. It breaks my heart. Instant karma. What happens if you refuse to wear a mask in the Italian Senate? Burn him! Burn him! Give him laxative! Give him laxative! They just carry him out. That's cool. Whatever. What was I saying about laxative? I guess my heart was just speaking. My heart was speaking. Wow. Is that what I desire? No. Still dangerous to be near a burning vehicle. Yeah, you see a vehicle burning and think that there's no way that it can blow up or you know, go up any harder. You're kicking it. Oh, cool. That's pretty cool, you know. If the dude survives, you think he'll think about it? My favorite thing about a lot of people, dude, let me try to freeze it right when he kicks this bitch. My favorite thing about a lot of people is that many of the things that they do is not even for, like, impressing anybody. How bizarre is that? You're at a party and there's a big ass pair of titties that you wish would just come flopping out, you know what I mean? Or that you could just speak to that girl after you do something outrageous and stupid so she can go, wow, do you do stuff like that all the time? And you're just like, I can't see out of my right eye. At least that makes sense to me, man. But this dude probably doesn't even know he's being recorded. You out here kicking a car on fire. Come on, man. Mr. Knight says he's dead. He was too close. You know how Reddit feels about watching people die. Not cool anymore, guys. You better go to another website. You want to see stuff like that. We need to protect this site for investors. You're just gonna... I apologize. All right, guys, you take it easy. I'm gonna go get some water, which I should probably have next to me behind a damn microphone. You guys take it easy. Love you. Wish you the best. Oh my God. Stay amazing. The links are in the description. Join the Discord if you want notifications, and I will catch you all soon. Stay out of trouble. Bye.